Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Ward and I am here to read you Chapter 2 of Sparrowhawk Red. And this is Max. He's going to read with us today. So if you remembered, we had a huge cliffhanger at the end of Chapter 1 where we found out that Ricky's mom did not die of a car accident. It might have been that she was killed by somebody. I know, it stresses me out. Okay, so Chapter 2, here we go. An invisible hand clamped Ricky's throat and held him in the doorway. His breath came in short gasps. Mom murdered? Had he heard right? What was Dad talking about? Mom had died in a car accident. Nobody killed her. Trembling, Ricky listened to the muffled voices. He heard the bald guy's voice. Come on. We don't know she was murdered. You don't know that, Dexter, because you don't want to, Benito said, his voice tense. Makes it easier for you to go into your air-conditioned office each morning. Drop it, you two. That's a different issue, barked a commanding voice. No, Frank, said Benito. It's not a different issue. I'm done with the DEA. The same man spoke again. Listen, Benito, you and I go back a long way. You know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't important. Just hear me out. There was silence. Then Benito spoke, his voice subdued. Make it short. Ricky strained to hear as he tiptoed back toward the study door. If Dad caught him listening, there would be more than a scolding. The guy that Dad had called Frank continued. In 2 weeks, the president has a summit meeting with, Guillermo Chavez, the president of Mexico. I probably said his name wrong. Chavez is requesting more foreign aid for their fight against drugs. What's that have to do with me? Ricky heard Benito ask. After you left the agency, said Frank, the military developed what we call a signature radar. As you know, most radars tell only approximate size, altitude, and location of an aircraft. But once a profile is recorded, the signature radar can pick up an individual plane out of a squadron of identical planes. It's dynamite. We learn the unique signature of each smuggler's plane, and the radar warns us whenever one crosses the border. Do you know what a smuggler is?
What?
It's somebody who's crossing illegal things like drugs into the border. It's horrible. So we want to catch those smugglers. So that's what they're hoping to do with this signature radar. Get to the point, Benito insisted. The guy Frank kept talking. Last year, 3 of these radars were given to the Mexican government to help stop drug traffickers from bringing drugs into the United States. 1 month ago, our number of smuggling intercepts on the border dried up. Every plane we approach turns tail and runs. At first, I doubted it, but now I'm sure one of the signature radars has fallen into bad hands, so the bad guys have it. Here, look. Ricky could not tell what his father was being shown, but the man continued. These are screen recordings of the last 10 intercepts. On each, the target reversed course even before we changed our heading for intercept. Now look at this. The outlying aircraft of each of these is different except for down here. See this plane? It's on each screen recording and it flies a holding pattern 50 miles inside their border. That's within the range of a signature radar. It's the only way they could know we're around. We've had agents check. The plane is an orange and white Cessna 172 Skyhawk, and it's based at a private strip on the Camacho Cattle Ranch just west of Mariposa. That ranch is a front for the Leon drug cartel. We're convinced one of our radars is actually on that plane and being used against us. So the bad guys have the radar. They have to get it back. I can't help you, Benito sounded bitter. I'm not in the cop business anymore. Besides, I don't understand why you're even telling me this. I'm sure it's classified. We have to be serious if we're reading, okay? We have to be serious.
I'm thirsty.
Benito, said the third voice, we need you to steal that aircraft. Steal it? Are you serious? An active DEA agent could never enter Mexico and retrieve the plane without going through standard DEA procedures. That means notifying the Mexican Federates, some of the people we suspect. If they're not notified and we're caught, it blows apart the president's summit. Dexter, the man who had been gruff to Ricky earlier, broke in, his gravelly voice sounding mean. The State Department wants a pilot from outside the agency to infiltrate the drug compound and fly back to Skyhawk. Do you understand what's happening? They want this guy to go into the bad guy's compound, steal a plane, and fly it back. This is stressful. The president needs absolute proof and without risk. Yeah, said Benito, no risk to him or you, but if I get caught, you never heard of me before, right? We disclaimed involvement, growled the man. You know the rules. I've already lost my wife to this dirty business. I still have a son who needs me. Can't you see I'm through? But you were the first to get close to the Leon cartel. Because I wasn't a lazy pencil pusher, Benito spoke accusingly. Don't look at me when you say that, sounded the gruff voice. I'll look anywhere I darn well please. Listen, for God's sake, they killed my wife. Think what you're asking. Ricky blinked back tears and swallowed to keep from choking. Killed? It wasn't a car accident? Someone killed Mom? The commanding voice spoke more gently. Benito, I'm asking you to just think about it. Maybe the Leon cartel did kill your wife. If so, this is your chance to strike back. You're Mex. You talk Spanish. You can go in and get this plane. We prove that they have the radar, and it blows the lid clean off their operation. Give me a break, said Benito Diaz. You've been in your air-conditioned office too long. A Mexican drug compound isn't an open party where you stroll in if you have a good suntan. They're as tight as some prisons. Even if I wanted, I couldn't get in. Most important, I don't want to. But Benito, think about, did you hear me? I said no. It's time for you to leave. Before the study door could open, Ricky ran from the house and across the lawn toward the hangar. His mind raced as he pulled the hose from the gas barrel and started fueling the biplane. His hands shook. Over and over, he spit at the ground. When he was crying? No. When he was younger, he thought tears came from having too much water in his head. He learned to spit away the water to keep from crying. Aww. Sometimes it seemed to help. The men strode from the house and soon sped away, tires spitting gravel back at Ricky's father. Dust hung in the air as Benito walked slowly across the lawn. His limp seemed worse. Ricky could not keep his mind on fueling the plane. His mother killed? No, that's not what had happened, but he knew it was true. Mijito, said his dad approaching. He used the Spanish for my son, kindly. Thoughts jumbling, Ricky turned his head away. What's wrong? Asked Benito. Ricky blinked at his tears and spit at the ground, continuing to hide his face. Look at me, ordered Benito. Ricky turned and stammered. Papa, nobody killed Mama. Angry tears flooded out with his words. Tell me no one killed her. And that's the end of chapter 2. We'll keep reading chapter 3 in the next one.